Picture this. You are sitting on the couch, completely relaxed. Your cat is curled up in your lap, purring like a tiny engine, and you are gently stroking their soft fur. Everything is perfect. And then, out of absolutely nowhere, they whip their head around and chomp. Their teeth sink into your hand, their back paws start kicking, and you are left sitting there stunned, staring at the little bite marks thinking, what on earth did I just do wrong? If this happens to you, I know exactly how confusing and honestly how hurtful it feels. One second your cat is loving you, and the next second they are attacking you. And I know you have probably searched everywhere for answers. You have read that your cat is just mean, or moody, or that some cats simply hate being touched. But what if I told you that almost none of that is true? What if I told you that your cat is not being aggressive at all, and that the secret to ending these sudden bites forever is not a training gadget, not a spray bottle, and not some expensive behaviorist? The secret is understanding one hidden signal your cat has been screaming at you this entire time, a signal you have been missing. If you saw the title of this video, you saw the promise. Today I am going to show you exactly why your cat bites you during petting, and how to finally end it for good. Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. As a veterinarian, sudden biting during affection is one of the most common behavior problems that worried cat parents bring to me. And it breaks my heart because so many people believe their cat just does not love them. That is simply not the truth. In my clinic, I see this constantly, and there is a real, understandable reason behind it every single time. We are taught to think of a bite as a punishment, as the cat being bad. But as a vet who believes in reading an animal instead of fighting it, I want to fix the root cause, not just cover up the symptom. So today, we are doing a complete masterclass on cat body language and the sudden biting problem. Grab a notebook, because I am going to give you a simple, practical guide. First, I am going to show you the real reason behind the bite. Then, I am going to teach you the hidden warning signals. And finally, I am going to give you the exact step-by-step method to build a bite-free bond with your cat. And before we go any deeper, if you want to keep learning how to truly understand your cat, do me one small favor and hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss these deep dives into your cat's health and behavior. Now let's begin. Let's start with the big myth. When your cat bites you during a nice, calm petting session, almost everyone assumes the same thing. They assume the cat is angry, or that the cat suddenly turned mean. Some people are even told their cat has a split personality, 1 minute sweet and the next minute a monster. My friends, please let go of that idea right now. Your cat does not have a personality disorder, and your cat is not trying to hurt you out of spite. Cats do not think that way. What you are actually witnessing has a real name in veterinary behavior science. It is called petting-induced aggression, or overstimulation, biting. And once you understand it, everything about your cat suddenly makes sense. Here is what is really happening under that soft fur. When you pet a cat, you are stimulating thousands of incredibly sensitive nerve endings connected to their hair follicles. Every single hair on a cat's body is wired to a tiny receptor, and those receptors were designed by nature to detect the lightest touch, a crawling insect, a blade of grass, the paw of another cat. In small, gentle doses, your stroking feels wonderful to them. It mimics the soft grooming they received from their mother and their littermates when they were tiny kittens curled up in a pile. That is why so many cats melt and purr when you first begin. But here is the crucial part that changes everything. A cat's nervous system is very different from ours. That pleasant sensation does not simply stay pleasant. It builds up and quietly accumulates like water filling a glass. And at a certain point, that glass overflows. The same touch that felt soothing just a moment ago suddenly becomes irritating, overwhelming, almost electric under their skin. Nothing about your hand changed. What changed is that your cat's internal tolerance simply ran out. Let me give you a real-world example so this truly lands. Imagine someone is gently tickling the inside of your arm. At first it is fine, maybe even pleasant, and you smile. But if they keep doing it in the exact same spot, over and over, stroke after stroke, that same feeling slowly turns maddening. Your skin starts to crawl. You feel a powerful urge to yank your arm away. Now imagine you cannot speak the same language as the person tickling you, and the only way you have to make it stop is to physically push their hand off. That is precisely the situation your cat is in. The bite is not hatred. The bite is not aggression. The bite is your cat saying, in the only clear language they have left, please, that is enough now. I have reached my limit. And here is the part that so many cat parents get wrong. The bite is almost never the first thing your cat did. The bite is the last thing your cat did after every quieter signal was ignored. Your cat was talking to you the entire time. You just did not know the language. And if you are already starting to see your own cat in what I am describing, do the channel one quick favor and make sure you are subscribed with that notification bell switched on, because what comes next is the exact information that will let you read your cat like an open book. This brings me to the most important part of this entire video, the hidden warning signals. Because once you can read these signals, you will see the bite coming from a mile away, and you will be able to stop it before it ever happens. Let's talk about the tail first, because the tail is your cat's honest little mood meter, and it almost never lies. Here is something fascinating that trips up so many people. When a dog wags its tail, it usually means the dog is happy and excited. But a cat is the complete opposite, and this single misunderstanding causes countless bites. A calm, content cat holds its tail still, or with a soft, gentle curl at the tip, relaxed and quiet. But watch closely what happens in the moments right before a bite. That tail starts to twitch. At first, you will see just the very tip flick back and forth, a small, subtle movement that is so easy to miss. Then, if the petting continues, that flicking travels down the entire length of the tail, growing bigger and faster, until the whole tail is thumping and lashing and slapping against the couch or the floor. That lashing tail is a full red alert. It is your cat telling you, loud and clear, that the pleasant feeling has curdled into agitation. So here is your rule. If you are petting your cat and that tail starts twitching or snapping like a little whip, stop your hand immediately and let it rest. That is your very first and clearest warning, and if you learn only this one signal, you will prevent a huge number of bites all on its own. Now let's look at the ears, because the ears are just as loud if you know how to read them. A relaxed, happy cat holds its ears forward and upright, softly pointed at the world. But when a cat becomes overstimulated, those ears begin to rotate. They swivel sideways and then flatten backward against the head into what many people call airplane ears, because they look like little wings pulling back. The moment you see those ears start to turn or pin down, your cat is telling you they are moving from comfort into irritation. This is another signal that comes long before the teeth ever appear. Next, look at the skin along their back. Cats have a fascinating little reflex where the skin over their spine and shoulders can twitch and ripple, almost like a shiver running down their body. This rippling skin is a classic sign of overstimulation. It means those nerve endings we talked about are firing far too much. If you are stroking your cat's back and you see the skin shudder and roll under your hand, that is your cat's body physically reacting to too much sensation. Ease off right then. And finally, watch the head. A cat that wants your affection will push its head into your hand and lean into the touch. But a cat that has had enough will suddenly turn its head sharply toward your hand and freeze. That head turn is often the very last warning before contact. The eyes may go wide, the pupils may grow large and round, and the whole body goes tense and still for just a heartbeat. If you learn to freeze the moment you see that sharp head turn, you will avoid nearly every bite before it lands. We have covered so much already, and I can tell you are becoming a better cat parent by the second. If this is helping you finally understand your cat, take a moment right now and tap that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more worried cat parents who need to hear this. Thank you, and let's keep going. So now you know the signals, the twitching tail, the airplane ears, the rippling skin, the sudden head turn. But you might be wondering, why does my cat reach their limit so fast when my friend's cat can be petted for an hour with no problem? That is a wonderful question, and the answer takes us a little deeper. Every cat has what I call a petting threshold, an invisible tolerance level for how much touch they can enjoy before it tips into too much. And this threshold is different for every single cat, shaped by three big things. The first is their kittenhood. Cats who were gently handled by humans during the first few weeks of life, in that critical socialization window, grow up with a much higher tolerance for petting. Cats who were orphaned, feral, or barely touched as kittens often have a very low threshold. They simply never learned that long human contact is safe and normal. If you adopted a cat with an unknown or rough past, please have patience. They are not broken. They just have a smaller tolerance tank, and that is not their fault. The second factor is where you are touching them. This is huge, and most people get it completely wrong. Most cats love being stroked around the cheeks, under the chin, and around the base of the ears. These are the areas where their scent glands live, and grooming there feels natural and bonding to them. But many cats strongly dislike being petted down the back toward the tail, and they especially hate having their belly and the base of their tail touched. When a cat rolls over and shows you their belly, that is a sign of deep trust, not an invitation to rub their stomach. Touch that belly, and you may get the full bite and rabbit kick response. If your cat bites often, watch where your hand is when it happens. You may discover you have simply been petting the wrong zones. The third factor is something people almost never consider, and as a veterinarian I have to raise it, because it is critically important. Sometimes a cat that suddenly starts biting during petting is not overstimulated at all. Sometimes that cat is in pain. If your cat used to enjoy long petting sessions and has recently started biting when you touch a certain area, that is a serious red flag. Arthritis, dental disease, hidden skin infections, ear problems, and sore joints can all make a formerly gentle touch feel sharp and painful. A cat cannot tell you that their hip aches or that their spine is stiff. All they can do is bite the hand that presses on the sore spot. Let me share a story from my clinic that I will never forget. A worried owner brought in a sweet older tabby who had suddenly started biting whenever she was stroked along her lower back. The owner was heartbroken and convinced her cat had simply turned mean in old age. But when I gently examined that cat, she flinched the instant I touched the base of her spine. An X-ray revealed advanced arthritis in her hips and lower back. That cat was not being aggressive at all. Every stroke down her back had been pressing directly on inflamed, aching joints. Once we managed her pain, the biting vanished almost completely, and that loving cat came right back. So please, hear this vet warning clearly. If the biting is new, if it is sudden, or if your cat flinches, cries out, or bites only when you touch one specific spot, do not try to train that away. Book a checkup with your veterinarian first and rule out a medical cause. Behavior work only ever comes after we know your cat is healthy and pain-free. All right, now that we understand the real reason and the hidden signals, let's move into the part you have been waiting for, the actual step-by-step method to finally end the biting for good. And I promise you, this is gentle, it is simple, and it works. There is no punishment involved anywhere in this plan because punishing a cat for communicating will only teach them to skip the warnings and go straight to the bite. We never want that. We want more communication, not less. Step 1 is to learn your cat's number. Over the next week, I want you to gently pet your cat and simply count the strokes until you see the very first warning signal, that first tail twitch or ear swivel. Maybe it is 3 strokes. Maybe it is 10. Maybe it is 20. That number is your cat's threshold, and it is pure gold. Once you know it, you always stop a stroke or two before you reach it. You are ending the session while your cat still feels good, not after they feel overwhelmed. This one simple habit prevents the vast majority of bites. Step 2 is to change where and how you pet. Focus almost all of your affection on the safe zones, the cheeks, the chin, and the area behind and around the base of the ears. These are the spots where your cat's scent glands are located, and stroking there is genuinely bonding for them, because it is where they rub to mark the people and things they love. Keep your strokes slow, calm, and gentle, and let each stroke be a little shorter than you think it needs to be. Avoid the belly, the lower back, and the base of the tail entirely, unless you know with absolute certainty that your individual cat enjoys it. Many cats find those areas deeply overstimulating or even threatening, because in the wild, those are the vulnerable spots a predator would target. By staying in the zones your cat naturally enjoys, and away from the zones that set off alarm bells, you keep them floating in the pleasure state far longer and far away from the irritation state that leads to the bite. Step 3 is to let your cat lead. Instead of reaching over the top of your cat's head, which can feel threatening, hold out one finger at their nose level and let them come to you. If they rub their cheek against your hand, they are inviting affection. If they pull back or stay still, they are politely declining, and we respect that. When you let the cat control the interaction, they feel safe, and a cat that feels in control almost never needs to bite. You will be amazed how much friendlier your cat becomes the moment they realize you are finally listening to them. Step 4 is what I call the enrichment secret, and it is the piece almost everyone forgets. A cat that bites during petting is very often a cat with too much unspent energy. Cats are hunters, and that hunting drive has to go somewhere. If it has nowhere to go, it can spill out during petting as rough, mouthy behavior. So every single day, give your cat a real play session with a wand toy or a feather teaser. Let them stalk it, chase it, and pounce on it like real prey, and always let them catch it at the end so they feel that satisfying win. 10 to 15 minutes of true hunting play drains that energy, lowers their overall arousal, and makes them far calmer and gentler during your quiet cuddle time. A tired hunter is a gentle companion. You are already doing so well by learning all of this, and I truly believe you are becoming the kind of cat parent every cat deserves. If you want more videos like this that help you decode exactly what your cat is trying to tell you, make sure that subscribe button is turned on along with the notification bell so the channel can keep bringing you this kind of care. Now, I want to gently address one more thing, because I know some of you are dealing with a cat that bites hard and often, not just a little nip. Please do not lose hope, and please do not label your cat as aggressive or give up on them. What you are seeing is not a bad cat. It is a cat whose signals were missed for so long that they learned biting is the only thing that finally makes the petting stop. The good news is that this is completely reversible. The moment you start respecting the early signals, stopping before the threshold, and letting your cat lead, they learn something wonderful. They learn that they no longer have to shout with their teeth because you are finally listening to their whispers. Over a few weeks, as trust rebuilds, the bites fade away, the warning signals soften, and your cat begins to relax into your touch in a way they never could before. Let's quickly review the whole battle plan, so it is crystal clear. First, understand that the bite is not aggression. It is overstimulation, your cat reaching its limit. Second, learn the hidden signals, the twitching tail, the airplane ears, the rippling skin, and the sharp head turn. Third, respect your cat's threshold by counting the strokes and stopping while they still feel good. Fourth, pet only the safe zones and let your cat lead the interaction. Fifth, drain that hunting energy every day with real play. And always, always rule out pain with your veterinarian if the biting is new or sudden. Follow this simple plan, and I promise you, those sudden painful bites will melt away, and in their place you will find a deeper, calmer, more trusting bond than you ever thought possible with your cat. Being a cat parent is not always easy, and the fact that you sat here and learned all of this proves how much you truly love your cat. You are not looking for a quick fix. You are looking to understand them, and that is the greatest gift you can give any animal. So if this masterclass helped you see your cat in a brand new way, please leave a like to help us reach more worried cat parents, and make sure you are subscribed with the notification bell turned on so you never miss what comes next. So the next time your cat curls up in your lap, watch that tail, read those ears, and stop just a little sooner than you think you need to. You will finally be speaking their language. Give your beautiful cat a gentle, slow chin scratch from all of us, and I will see you in the next one.